Oh my god, hey! Hey!
Hey folks, I'm Jacob, this is Weebservations, and I am super fucking excited to check out the first episode of the classic 1979 Mobile Suit Gundam, the seminal real robot work by Yoshiyuki Tomino, the Star Trek of Japan, some say. Maybe not a completely fair comparison, but just by way of explanation, Star Trek has always been a major, influential, extremely beloved nerd property in the West, but we've had a lot of trouble getting people in Japan to care about it. People in Japan like Star Wars, but they don't really care about Star Trek. And Gundam, for the longest time, up until the last couple years, was kind of seen as the same way, where it's this giant, influential, hardcore, nerdy, people get really immersed in it. A specific kind of type of nerd gets really, really immersed in it, and it's considered like thoughtful sci-fi that just didn't make a whole lot of landfall over here. But Gundam has only grown more and more in popularity over the years, and as a result of that, I think maybe for the first time ever, Crunchyroll is streaming the original 1979 Mobile Suit Gundam. I don't know if it is the first time it's been legally streaming in the United States. I know Gundam.info was the Japanese rights holders English site for most of the new Gundam series that came out in the last 6 or 7 years, and I know that they had some archived series there, and maybe the original Gundam was up there. I don't know, don't quote me on that. Point is, I've never seen it before. I've seen a lot of different Gundam things, and I'll get into that in a second, but I've never really actually watched the 1979 original Gundam that started it all. Here's everything I know about Gundam, about the original Gundam. I know that it supposedly created the real robot genre, although there is a little bit of controversy over that, I think, depending on how you look at it. I think it's very fair to say that before Mobile Suit Gundam, real robots weren't really a thing. The super robot genre was kind of like kaiju or the Godzilla genre, where you would have giant robots who were heroes, who were piloted by a young boy, a young whippersnapper, or were sometimes completely autonomous and fought on their own, a la Gigantor. And Yoshiyuki Tomino, the creator of Gundam, was the first one to really approach this genre with the perspective of these things being military hardware in a war setting, where he really thought about how would this robot actually function, both just in terms of how it moves and how it operates as a real piece of machinery, and then politically, how would it operate as a weapon of war? How would the government treat this thing as a piece of military hardware that could be replicated over and over instead of just a superhero that happens to be made of metal. But I do take umbrage with that sometimes there's an argument that the creation of Gundam split the world of super robot anime into real robots and super robots, and ne'er the twain shall meet until later when, genre has become less and less easily defined in recent years. But I don't think that's true. I think going back to the 80s, there's a lot of different shows that blend the real robot and super robot influences, and I don't really think it's fair to say that you can say a show is one or the other, and Gundam defined that, and Gundam is all real robot, because there's later Gundams that are definitely not real robot, maybe as we would define it. Anyway, so I know that. I know the characters Amuro Ray and Char Aznable, and I know what they look like and what their personalities are, and some of the famous shots from scenes that they were in. I know jumping onto white base. And that's it. That is the extent of my knowledge about the original 1979 Mobile Suit Gundam. So this is gonna be fun. I have seen quite a few other Gundam shows, mostly the big ones from the 90s. I've seen Gundam Wing, I've seen Gundam Seed, I've seen G Gundam, my personal favorite at the moment. I've seen Iron-Blooded Orphans, from the modern day. Ate the Mess Team, which I'm actually writing a piece about next month on my blog. But I've never seen a Gundam created by, overseen by, heavily worked on by the original Gundam creator, Yoshiyuki Tomino. My experience with the works of Yoshiyuki Tomino is not... the things I've seen are... Overman King Gainar. And I've seen Garzy's Wing. Ah! those are some of the like sort of the sad Twilight year what the fuck results of a creator who went on to direct things. He made Reconquista in G when he was 72 years old. And so the stuff that I've seen of Tomino's is from his Twilight years when nobody really, not even he maybe, knew what he was making anymore. And my personal favorite Gundam thing of all time, the one thing I've neglected to mention because it slipped my mind because it's not a series, it's very short, but my favorite Gundam thing that I've ever seen this is a very pedestrian opinion, but it's Gundam 0080 War in the Pocket. That's the best Gundam thing I've seen. I love a story about crushing the hopes and dreams of a young boy. So I'm excited to jump back in time to 1979 and see where it all began. So without further ado, let's get into episode 1 of the original Mobile Suit Gundam. Sankoku no Tenshi no... Wait, that's a different song. Back when anime theme songs were not promotional pop songs for an artist that might, to be fair, often do resemble the anime that they're supporting, but sometimes they don't. Sometimes they seem like they have absolutely nothing to do with the anime that they're in front of. This is back when they're just theme songs, and it's just some old guy shouting Gundam a lot. It's been 50 years since we started ruining space. It's just like we fucked up the Earth. Everyone lives sideways. Ah, look at that. Look at that. Interstellar. Completely ripped off of Gundam. Okay, so those are the bad guys. I'm just gonna take a wild guess that they're bad guys because they have giant devil horns and one red eye, and the good guys are called the Earth Federation. So, and we like Earth. So I'm on track. I've got it. I've got it in the bag here. Oh no! And then Unicron blew up Space Cleveland. Some Darth Vader energy in there. That heavy breathing. That is 100%. That is a Tomino liked Darth Vader's breathing. I'm gonna stake my claim on that. I'm gonna say that's what the influence was. Besides, in space, nobody can hear you, Darth Vader, breathe. Oh, it's the Golden Gate Bridge. Wait a minute. I guess it doesn't. Sorry, I'm just like the lady with the quadratic equations. I was just trying to process how you have a suspension bridge and an ocean. Oh, Amadore, I know him. And I know that little thing. That's the little Gundam mascot. It appeared a lot in Seed. In Gundam Seed. What a great little robot. I love it already. Anyway, I was trying to figure out how a suspension bridge with a bay and everything exists sideways in a space colony, but I guess artificial gravity works the same way on everything, right? I don't know if it would work the same way on water. I don't know anything about science. That's why I watch Dr. Stone, to educate and expand my brain. That's a very Japanese thing. So it's bad manners. You don't eat on the subway. It's I mean, you really don't now with COVID. You don't do anything that uncovers your mouth. And I guess that's the whole world is like that now. But no, in Japan, if you're on the subway, don't eat. It's rude. There's just a lot of Americans don't get that. You totally eat on the subway in New York. It's a lot of people like spend their time in transit like eating a meal because we're so busy around here. But it's bad manners in Japan. Don't do it. But eating while driving, being bad manners, I guess that's just a natural extension of that. I know the white base. Are we jumping onto it yet, or is that's probably gonna be? We can't jump onto white base in episode 1. It's such a big deal. That guy yells so loud. All right, so these are the Earth Federation forces, ostensibly the good guys. We've got some heroic colors here: red, blue, white. You know, the musical score is also sort of giving me that indication. Oh, this Lieutenant Ray, he might not be trustworthy.
He's purple and he looks annoyed. Oh, he looks like a sneaky son of a bitch. I don't trust this guy. He seems naughty. Now we know he's an asshole because he's a dad in an anime, and he looks like Gendo. Yeah. I mean, I knew that Evangelion was influenced by Gundam, along with other super robot shows that I haven't seen. But I've been told that. I know that. I'm now seeing it come to life in front of me, and I kind of love it actually. Proto Gendo. It's Char. I know him. That's Char. That's Char Aznable, or is it Aznable, or is it Asnably? It's Char. I mean, he's a famous bad guy. If you know who Char is, you know he's a bad guy. But also, he's the most popular character. He's beloved. He's yeah, far more likable, as I understand it, than any other character in the original Mobile Suit Gundam. So if he's king shit, and for the bad dudes, for the Darth Vader Cyclops bots, that means there's probably going to be some ambiguity in who's right and wrong, which I believe is what Gundam is known for, right? So probably not a good versus evil story, straight up. Gene, no! Oh, the bulk and skull of the bad guy. This is a... I say bulk and skull, but maybe Gene is going to mortally regret his decision here. Maybe he's not a recurring character. We'll find out. Damn. This guy means business. Ooh, I love the color palette here. Even in old anime, the, you know, where there's... Let's be honest, there's not a lot of animation in this. Those explosions were like the closest, like, oh, right, this cartoon moves. But like, just the layout here, the orange here is great. The purple in his eyes. It looks great. Just, yeah, it doesn't matter that it's old. The layout and the color design is so excellent. Here I come to save the day. I'm Amuro Ray. Don't get stepped on by the giant Cyclops Vader. I'm getting the impression that he's less of a nerd, more of a cool nerd. He's a cool. There we go. So he's a scientist like his dad, I guess is what I'm putting it together. I'm putting it together. So he's not a geek. He can drive a cool car, and he has good social skills, and he's badass. But he's also really into science. So I got it. Okay, so he's a cool scientist. The sound effect to the eye catch was like a comedic doink, like. And now back to wait a minute. This horrible war story where people are blowing up and dying, and he's like, they all died in front of me. They're dead. And then doing. Frau? Isn't Frau German or Austrian for girl? Oh, Frau Bluche. Like, that's lady. Okay, so it's like lady. Pilot the Gundam, Amuro. You know you want to. Pilot the Gundam. Pilot the Gundam, or we'll make Ray do it. Wait, you're Ray. Shit. Oh my god, hey! Hey! I don't recommend slapping ladies, but if it's to save their lives, one good slap, okay. What am I doing? The first episode of Mobile Suit Gundam, and I'm like, well, you know, if you're trying to save your life, one good slap across. Just get in the robot, Amuro. Get in the robot before I further sign my ticket to hell. Please change the focus of the scene. It really is remarkable. Just remarkable how much this first episode, like, puts Evangelion into context. I understood what Evangelion was influenced by, but, like, first episode to first episode, it's like, oh, like even Frau sitting in for Misato, and it just like it's like, okay, here's the fantasy. Not that this is a happy fantasy. Like, this is obviously from the beginning intended to be kind of a complex war story, because you can see, okay, there's bad people on the good side. We don't know if there's good people on the bad side yet, but there are definitely. I mean, these guys seem like Bulk and Skull here don't seem to be too bad. We'll see, right? I don't know, but obviously there's already shades of gray here, but still, it's a big over the top like war, yeah, kind of thing. Evangelion is just like, if this happened to me, here are the people in my life that I recognize, and like, you know, the vision of his dad is much more exaggerated, and like, here's how I feel next to a lady like Frau. I feel like Shinji next to Misato. Like, oh my god, it just makes so much more sense. It's like, oh, Evangelion, just watch the first episode of Mobile Suit Gundam, and then watch Evangelion, and it automatically makes it, puts it into much firmer context. And I know that there's a bunch of other stuff that influenced Eva that I'm not familiar with, but yeah. Wow, it's easy to see how Gundam has influenced a bunch of stuff, but Ava's the first thing that jumps to mind, just because I think that the way that its first episode goes down compared to this was deliberate. I think it was a very deliberate choice. Oh, he's gonna kick this guy's ass, though. Is the mouth tube important? Does he need that? Ah! So I guess if just any old schmuck can get in this thing and pilot it, it's the Gundam itself that's like superior to, because he has no experience. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's got good science intuition, engineer's intuition, because his dad's an engineer and he likes looking at microscopes. But that's all we need to know, is he looks in microscopes and he's good at this. So he probably has a knack for it, but like, he has no training and he's beating the shit out of these guys. So I'm gonna assume that the Gundam itself, they just can't mass produce it for some reason, right? But it's a really impressive weapon. Swords beat guns. Lightsaber, another good Star Wars, lift, I guess you could say. God, the color design, so good, so good. Like, there's really not very much animation going on here, but it feels heavy. Like, that guy's dead. That guy's dead. This looks bad. Like, this looks like a devastating explosion. Not a whole lot of animation to get that across. Just like draftsmanship, layout, color design. You know, fantastic. Uh-oh, Bulk. I don't think you're gonna make it through the episode, dude. It's our first episode, and our hero has killed 2 people. I assume this guy's dead. He's not gonna make it. He's gonna explode. Oh! Explode! 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 Blow up! Blow up, Cyclops Vader! Blow it up! The tension is killing me. Oh. Crickets. I thought it was gonna explode. Damn it. In the Trigger version, it would explode. And there would be like a giant kanji exploding around it for the special way in which it exploded, which it gets its own special name. It's 1979. We gotta rein it in a little bit. There was lots of explosions earlier in the episode. That's all I got. I guess it's more realistic, right? It's supposed to be a real robot thing. He did something that incapacitated it, either made it stop running or there was no oxygen to it or something. That's realistic. This is a real war story. So in his mind, he's righteous. Zeon has a reason to conquer the colonies. Next time on... Oh, I know that one. So that's Char's Gundam then. The red one, that's a special one, because it's red. And they don't have to design a new... they just paint... So I guess a little different. It's got a horn as well. It's like a Oni, like a demon maybe, an Oni or something. Iconic, instantly iconic. That was f***ing great.
All right, that was episode 1 of the original, the inimitable Mobile Suit Gundam 0079. and I really enjoyed it, even more than I thought I would. I thought I was going to have a lot of fun watching this just because it's a piece of anime history that I've never really just enjoyed on its own natively before. And more than that, it was just a really good show. If I was a kid growing up in the mid-90s, I would watch it and be really excited. The pacing is... I was worried that I was not going to be able to talk enough because it's old, right? And so the pacing is slower. But pacing was actually better than a lot of anime that gets made today. And I arguably talked too much. Please don't slap someone in the face if they're in a state of shock or hysteria. There's like 20 other better things you can do before slapping them. I don't know how far I'm going to continue to watch into the TV series because there's just a lot of anime on my plate right now, but I've heard that it is best to experience the original Mobile Suit Gundam through the movie trilogy, which I happen to have right here on Blu-ray, so I'm going to check that out, you know, maybe this weekend, or I don't know, we'll see what we'll do with this. Maybe another reaction video with the Gundam movie trilogy. Tell me if that would be something that you're interested in seeing. And if you are interested in voicing your opinion on the stuff I do on this channel in the future, you can head on over to my Patreon and support me there. Thank you so much to all my patrons here who have already funded future reaction videos coming up in March for the winter season, Wonder Egg Priority and Horimiya, which I'm going to be checking out. I'm also working on a non-reaction video capacity because I know these things aren't everybody's cup of tea. I'm going to be making a video about Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. I won't say exactly what it is, but it's coming up in a couple weeks. And I really need to update my Patreon main page with a lot of this new content that I've been making, but I've been waiting until I'm done with the Ace Attorney video to revamp the main page. But if you would like to get your name in the credits and vote on future topics for these videos, then head on over to the Patreon, and if you can't do that, then I really appreciate the like, comment, subscribe, keep this channel going. I can't thank you enough for supporting me and my work after coming back to YouTube after many, many years of hiatus. I'm getting my feet wet, I'm learning it all over again, and I appreciate all the support you guys have been sending my way. So thank you so much, and until next time, sayonara, bye-bye.